Live. Sorry. Live.
Nickel.
Oh, here you are. Okay, so walk away. I want you to make sure you can hear me. Just testing it out, guys. All right, Bethany, are you here? Oh, sorry. You're good. I don't see you there. Are you supposed to? Yeah. I don't see you or hear you. I don't know how to add myself. Hey, drop someone. Again, last week. What? He's been on my team. I love this. He's on my team the last time. Last time, I'm basically on the same panel as last time. He like Sweb and J2. Someone else. I felt like Rock was asleep, but I felt like people kept like, okay, he was there. I was like, right, I'm not asleep. I don't know. It says we have 2 viewers. He's about to the last time. They know. I'll just last time like Sweb and J2. What else? I felt like Rock was really very much. Okay, I didn't think he was there. I was like, right, well,
Hey, can I ask you a question while you're working?
yeah.
Are we still Camp Juggernaut meeting even though Jamie is not here?
Jamie has not gotten back to me. Yeah, but she was supposed to get back to me before she left about where we were at on approval for anything.
Russell has approved it and was taking it off.
Okay.
Russell thought it was great.
Did it work?
Yeah, and I think everybody else has a dud on it.
We.
Everybody else does.
I don't know, I'm just kind of that's concerned about what's the point of us meeting if like
Yeah. So Rachel had some ideas that she wanted to share because she couldn't meet the first meeting. So if we want to get her in the loop of that and like let her know and let her share the ideas. So maybe it won't be a long meeting. Maybe we can you can just share where we're at because I don't know if everyone knows where we're at with that and just up to date Rachel.
Is Jessie coming to this meeting?
She RSVP'd that she was.
Okay. Does she need to come to this meeting if it's just Rachel sharing ideas?
No.
Okay. I'm trying to help her protect her time.
Yep. Do you want to do that? And we'll just meet for 15 minutes, get Rachel on the loop, and she had some questions and some ideas about some things.
Yeah. Let me. I'll check with Jessie and see if there's anything that she wanted to talk about specifically.
Yeah.
You can see 11:30 plus finish.
Yeah, we have. I know.
It's my favorite. But I don't have all of these. What's your favorite game? Hi, bye.
I give up.
That's awesome.
Like, why does it work on Tuesday and then it doesn't work now?
Okay, girl, I don't know how to do this. I signed up for an account. Help. Yeah, there's a help.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I don't know how to do this, girl. Showcase. Do I put that?
What is she saying? At the bottom, I should see a green one by the Google Hangout. Nicole, can you hit that on yours and invite everyone?
Okay, we gotta go in there. I'm so sorry. At least they can hear us.
Are they on there?
Well, I can hear you on it. I don't know if they're on here.
Okay.
Adds up to 0.7.
You gotta move down, the top, right? The rest is there. You sit there.
Just click
Sarah's the one that
on
says, come on,
What
Sarah.
did I do?
No.
Do you want to say here?
No.
Actually, I think I sit here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do
Well, you said it.
It was so cold.
Do
when
I-
walked in, my body couldn't make it all the way to the end of the table.
It is really cool.
Bethany, I'm gonna send you another link.
All right, everybody take one.
That's really weird.
Oh, are
Do you have it? Oh, that's your face. Just kidding. I was like,
I
hi.
don't, me and Barb went through all of this the other day, and
Come on,
it's,
people. It's 11:14. We have so much to do today.
Oh, there's so many.
Yelling. We can start this. Get in here now.
Is that a Charlie kitchen? Oh my gosh. And send them like one of these and be like, actually, this is what your child.
Brandon, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
The table. They switched the table.
Yep. You can hear me?
Oh, Brandon, I can hear you. This is great.
Awesome. Where's Colleen at? She said she was on. Hey.
I don't know. Colleen, Brandon, did you click the last link that I sent? Is that how you got on?
That last link worked.
Click the last link. Guys.
Is this Jess right here?
No.
All right. Great.
Good job.
This is like the most frustrating thing. Like we practiced on Tuesday, and I was making sure my sound and everything was working. And it's great.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why it's so complicated.
Yeah. Well, and supposedly this is recording too, and so the first 15 minutes is going to be really funny as I. Where's everyone else? I don't know where Colleen's at. It says
I mean, I just haven't seen that.
she's here, but I don't see her.
Oh, I was playing around with it because I don't
Mine
know
is
how
tuned
to
in
do
too.
it.
She said to tell you.
Oh.
Yes, she told me, and she's on this the link that I just sent out. It's working. Brandon's on here, so I don't.
We can hear him.
Yep. Say hey, Brandon.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, Brandon.
Well, you can't see
Technology works.
That's the best.
Can we put them up there?
Oh yeah. Totally forgot about that. Here we go.
Where am I going?
You're going on the big screen. What's the name of this room?
Who are we missing?
It's in here.
Barb's right there. I see her running.
Choose this Apple
She's getting a
TV.
head start.
Where's Lucia? Skip here.
Is the TV on? Oh yeah.
Well, it was.
Oh.
All right. How do we go?
But now we're gonna
Great.
talk to him. But really, he's here.
Is that who are we missing? Is that everybody? Aaron,
This was at
Concord, Gaston, Lake Norman, Element, and Matthews.
Elementary.
Improv,
Elementary.
Rock Hill,
So cool.
University,
And Charlotte
Weddington,
is coming.
Corbus was at the coffee machine.
Far
It's
away.
taking way too long.
RD,
FYI.
we have Charlotte.
Hey, Barb. Have you heard
Charlotte's trying
our
to. I'm,
team?
No.
I heard I'm on your team now.
about Jordan Hicks?
Yes.
You.
Yes.
Me, Patty Phillips.
Oh my gosh.
Julie Dolo.
Uh-huh.
Brock Greger and Courtney Frigo.
We're gonna win.
We're
We're gonna win.
Every time I went up there and picked, Buck was sitting right next to me. Every single time I went up and picked, he was like, "Oh God," like because I was
Really?
picking people like they weren't thinking of. But I like talked to Julie in advance, and Julie was like, "I'm level 5 all the way," and I was like, "Awesome."
Oh, I'm level
Wow.
5. I love rowing. FYI, I love,
I love
rowing.
rowing too. When I
Said no one ever.
I
I love rowing.
And I mean, 12 of them. That doesn't sound like a lot.
No, it doesn't. I would like one at University City, and I would kill it if we had it at University City.
We
Well,
should get one.
I
talked about getting one at Rock Hill.
renting a rowing
Are you
machine at a
serious?
house, and if
Yeah, that's what they said. That
I would do it.
Jason said they
We're
were
not
getting one at Rock
because
Hill.
I think you can rent them, like from Rent-A-Center, maybe like $50
That's
a month
cool.
or something. That'd be
Oh my gosh, really? I'll pick my out, right?
okay, Colleen says she can hear and see. Oh, Charlotte's on. Okay, so we got Charlotte. I don't know why we can't see Colleen, but she said she can see us and hear us.
Weird you're looking there. Actually.
I know. Yep.
I'm waving, but they can't even see me wave.
Right.
Everybody
here.
can see them, but they can't see us.
Well, no, they can see us.
Their
Oh,
camera's right here.
yeah. So now I can.
Now they can watch themselves.
Yeah.
Inception!
But Charlotte and I'm waiting. on
And
air.
Aaron's on there.
So,
Aaron's not yet. Hold on.
Nicole,
Yes.
Good.
who is 416?
yeah, let's look right now. Brandon.
Aaron Humble. She's in Florida.
Okay, she said, can you send the link to my email?
Oh,
This looks like I'm kissing my cup, FYI.
Aw.
So no shit I would do.
Also, I like to
Not
go
really.
something with food.
yeah, that's
She said, can you send the link to my email?
Oh, there's Colleen. Oh,
You know, this is it took way too long.
Ooh.
All right. I just want to make sure that Aaron is here.
Which I like a lot.
Where's Aaron?
she's on. She's just trying to figure out how to see us.
She's taking on weekend.
She's taking the
Charlotte, will you mute yourself so it doesn't keep going to your face?
Wow, that wall is really green.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh,
Wait,
Colleen.
just wait for it.
Colleen, talk.
Wait for it.
You can click on the one you
Oh! Your wall is so green, Colleen.
Just going for it.
Dealer?
So green. Green is one of my lip spelling words this week. Green.
Aaron doesn't know how to make it for her to be active.
So she just click a link.
Hey, Colleen, can you text Aaron and tell her how you're now on here? Because she's having the same problem.
Yep.
Thanks. Yay, guys, I'm so
Me
happy.
too. This makes me happy.
I've been trying to do this
Feels legit.
forever. All right.
Okay. We have a long meeting today. I will try to go fast. There's so much stuff that we have to get through. And I'm really excited. I know I've told like 3 or 4 of you how excited that I am about this meeting because, like, I'll just tell you, big changes are happening, and I'm excited about those too. So,
Yay.
All right. Erin's supposed to pray for us, but she's not here.
Aaron.
Lou's gonna pray.
Jesus, thank you so much for today. Thank you for this incredible team, the people that are sitting here and those that aren't, God. And we just thank you for what we get to be a part of. God, it's weeks like this where we have people coming in wanting to learn from us and we sometimes just get refreshed about what we truly have and how special it is. And so we thank you for what we get to be a part of. And I just pray for this time together. And I pray that Jesus' ideas may just blow our minds because she has set our expectations so high and I am ready. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so I'm gonna start with a funny story that I entitled "Oh Weddington."
Oh,
Oh, buddy. Okay, so Weddington in this instance did nothing wrong, but the story is still hilarious. So, so Josh, if you're listening after the fact, you did nothing wrong. Actually, Josh wasn't even on the site at the time that this happened. So there was a teacher that came in. A former teacher that had been let go a couple weeks prior to coming into the school on Sunday, and it was not a good termination. There were some bad feelings between the teacher that was terminated and the school administrators. So this teacher, we're still not quite sure what his intentions were because his stuff is all completely cleared out of the building. So we don't know what his intentions were, but he did know that we were there on Sunday, so he tried to slip through the eKidz entrance and get into, he wasn't going to do, as far as we can tell, it was not his intentions to do anything to harm our children or anything, but there was still some, like, nefarious things going on in his head.
Good work.
So,
That's a good word. That's a good word.
So anyway, so he comes in. Well, as soon as he comes in, I don't know if you, well, no, you have not. Okay, but the security team at Weddington, which half of them are the former security team at Blakeney, and they take their job incredibly seriously. So seriously that sometimes you might call them overzealous, maybe. So the guy comes in, and he's walking through the hall, and immediately they're like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm a teacher. And they're like, oh, we're going to need to see your identification. And he's like, oh, I left it in my classroom. I don't have it. I need to go to my classroom and get it. And they're like, okay, well, we'll escort you to the classroom. And so he's like, oh, well, my classroom is being moved and blah, 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 blah. And so immediately puts the securities, like, on guard, like, oh, what's going on? And so at some point they realize that he is starting to, like, fabricate stories. And right behind him is a janitor closet. And we had to make a transition from motion E group to motion large group. And so the security sees the front of the line start to come around the corner. They reach behind, open up the janitor closet, which is super tiny, and stuff the man. Stuff the man into the janitor closet. Don't find the lights. Close the door and stand in front of the door. So, yeah.
Look at Lou's face.
So, at some point, the man. At some point, the man does find the light switch, so he does turn the lights on.
No.
But he proceeds. Once they had him trapped in there, they did not want to let him out because they were like, "You've got him contained." So then they went and got the police officer and brought him in. To make long story short, the man was in the closet for about 15 minutes.
What? Out of the closet.
Way.
Freeze for you guys? Cool.
Yep. Where's Nick Dooley at?
Now what?
I just texted Nicole.
So probably have to hang this.
Do they have to send another invitation?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to hang this one up.
Really?
Colleen, I guess we're gonna hang up, right?
Yeah, she knows that it's not working, so she'll call us back.
All right.
Should we wait for the next invitation? Yeah, a problem. Like, it allows you to see like what's an issue, but where do I need to focus? And so like Blakeney Saturday night needs people. Blakeney Sunday night needs people. But then I can see progress. So like here it was at 11, 9, 11, 8. So like we're getting better here. And so you can see like comparison. Like, okay, I might not be in the perfect place I want to be right now, but I've made progress.
Yes.
And so I just have, or like, use Concord. Concord is just pretty much awesome all the time.
All the time.
For
You're
emotion.
awesome.
But then like she can see from
It's like, how do I do it?
Where did they go?
then she can see like the Concord class is 11:30 is an issue like pretty consistently, and so she can say like, okay, I need to focus on my 11:30 class team.
Okay.
That's where I need the most volunteers.
And I'm not rushing you. I'm just asking because I'm not putting any more additional pressure on you. But when will you have those to send out? I know you have Blakeney and Concord done. Okay, so Courtney is going to send this report as well.
I can only do Roanoke and RDU because they use Fellowship 1.
Right,
I don't
okay.
have access to it.
So Colleen and Brandon, you're also going to get this report. Do you have any questions about this report?
Did they even see it? Are they connected? Colleen's not there.
Be connected, but
Came in on the end.
Well, you're going to get a report that's telling you the progress that you've made in the last month or so, with where you were as far as e-group leaders and where you are now. And okay, so let's just get realistic. This percentage and ratio is never going to be perfect, but let's shoot for 85%. I feel like we can do that. So, like let's shoot for 85%. If we land at 80, that's progress. Let's shoot for 85. So for motion and quest. Now, obviously, motion we're going up because this was what 52% the first time that we ran it.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So we're up in motion. Quest is we're still not where we need to be, and we're not seeing as significant progress in Quest. So let's focus in. Remember, this has got to. So we said by January 1 we want to have this problem fixed. So that means by January 1 we want these two numbers to be 85%. So let's shoot for that.
Where are the leaders pulled from? What's that number? Where does that number come from?
That's the amount of people checked in under Motion e-group. And so like that includes your e-group leaders, e-group support, e-team leaders, coordinators. So like where your coordinator and e-team leader might be checked in, they're not actually leading a group. But then if you pull somebody from Safari, oh, I need another Quest support, like then it kind of balances out.
So it's a pretty, we looked at it like 5 different ways. It's as close as we can get to with the data that we have.
Right.
Is saying, okay, well, there's a couple people in here every single week that we're including in this number that don't actually lead groups.
Yeah.
But then that will account for the people that we pull over when we are short.
Right.
And
So like my Blakeney 1130 Quest, it counts my e-team leader Candace, but it doesn't count. Mike has been leading a Quest e-group pretty consistently every week. It doesn't count him because he's not checked in. So it should balance out like people you pull are not on a roster with your e-team leaders who aren't actually leading a group.
Right.
I have a question too.
Okay.
So like we have students that serve as e-group leaders for Motion and Quest, but their assignment is to be in the student team. But they're on our rosters to be serving as e-group leaders, but that's not going to come up on the data because they can't have 2 assignments.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, they can. They can have 2
They can?
Yeah, you need to get an additional assignment for them.
And then they check in.
Because then when they scan their tag, they just press which one they're, so it'll scan their key tag, it'll say students, eKidz, they just press eKidz and it prints the eKidz tag, checks them into the system. So it shows.
My data person doesn't think you can because I've used
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can. So you make a note to reach out, like if you're coming out of this to-do list, you need to reach out to your data lady and say, hey, I learned in this meeting that I think that, like the way I would phrase it is, I think that we've been under a misconception. Can you help me dig into this problem or whatever, something like that. All right, and then I want you to work on getting your. Anybody else have this problem?
What?
With the check-in?
Sunday AM.
It's going to be after, but Weddington I need to figure out because they have like all their volunteers check in the Sunday AM. Same with RD Roanoke.
Well, we're just going to get rid of the Sunday AM, so they'll have to pick a worship experience that they'll serve in.
Yeah. So you're working on it for across the board, not university.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, across the board.
Okay. Yeah, because Weddington is the one, like Weddington's ratios are like, they have 3 kids per e-group, or 1 per e-group, like, or the ratio is 1 to 1, because 1, they don't have a lot of kids, but 2, like, their volunteer check-in is Sunday AM, so it counts for both, like, as if they're serving both.
Okay, so you're going to take care of that for everybody, which will help us give us more accurate data. Colleen, Charlotte, Brandon, you have any questions about this? Are they on mute?
Oh, Colleen does.
No, she said down.
Up or down? Up.
No
Great.
question.
Cool.
Hold on. Wait.
Wait, which one? I think she said no question.
Say it again, Colleen.
They're muted, see?
No question.
No questions.
Well
done.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Okay. Okay, I really just want us to focus. So going into this power of 3, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, but going into the power of 3, Frank standing up and even yesterday teaching at 7-day seminary, I mean, it's not just that it's impressive, it's that it's more efficient, and I think it blows people out of the water when they realize that e-groups start at age 3 for us.
Mm-hmm.
We are a church of e-groups, and that's what we are. We are a church of e-groups, not a church with e-groups.
Right.
And so we have to push this. I mean, it's what we do. I mean, everything that we do is everything that we do across all of our different areas of ministry. It all revolves around these one-on-one intentional connections that can only be made in e-groups. So knowing the importance of that, then let's get this going. I really, really want to present with Frank on January 1, 85%. That would blow him away. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's shoot for 75% in Quest and 85% in Motion. You can look at your numbers and you can look at yourself and figure out where you are. So, all right.
January.
Ask one follow-up question to what I asked earlier.
Yes.
It sounds like what you're saying is if we have people that are there but they're not checked in, then it's not going to be reflected on the support.
Exactly.
So
Right.
I know I've got more than 1 person on my
Yes.
Quest
They need to
e-group
check in.
team.
They're not
checking in. How do we How do we
You
know
gotta
that?
get them to check
Go
in.
check in.
The only way to know that though
We
is to
will
find
make
out
it
this
safe.
report.
No, you can go and see. Well, they should have a tag with their assignment.
Plus, you should have a
Sorry.
weekly data report that you
Right.
get every week from your data team.
That's who checked in.
Yes.
That's who served, who did not serve, all the above.
If you are a director and you get a data report from someone, raise your hand.
I
Okay.
get something, but it doesn't have that on it.
So I
You
get
need to request that to be on.
I can show you how to pull that F1 too. Like it's not pulling a report. It's not complicated at all. You can just like fill in.
Hey, Jeremy, it is in one of the reports Beth sends you.
Okay, it is on there.
One of the things too that it's really key about this is that if people aren't checking in, like if you have a significant problem where people aren't checking in, eventually they're going to be taken off of the roster entirely because they're not checking in.
Right.
And so people think they're not showing up, and that's not actually.
and it's security. Like they're looking
Yeah,
for
we
a
will
blue
make it say
shirt
blue
and
shirt
a
and
name
tag.
tag.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even talking to your security team of like making sure that they check a name tag.
All right, so let's move on to Power of 3. Did everybody get the link? Did anybody try the link? It is like a gold mine of information right there. Yeah, you can see who has checked in, so you can call people out who haven't.
Yes.
So Frank really wants at least 250 e-group leaders there. That's a massive goal, but that's what he wants. So we got to get on the horn and get our people there. There's 2 locations. It's not like we're asking everybody to come to Blakeney. So I feel like we should be able to do this. So,
I have you too.
yes.
Speak loud.
So I have several people who are e-group leaders, but then they are also motion and or class e-group leaders, but they're signing up as an e-group leader. So eKidz isn't getting.
You just need
credit.
to keep a list of that.
Okay.
And so if you know you have a leader, just keep a list of that.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
my question.
All right, that's it. Get your people there. Okay, Christmas Eve tree. Yay, this is fun talk. Okay, so talk to Frank about budget, and they're gonna give us money for that, so it doesn't have to come out of your budget. So here's the deal: $300. Everybody, this applies to everybody except for Charlotte. Sorry, Charlotte. Does not apply to you.
Lou and Jeremy.
And me.
No,
We're doing it
you.
the weekend
They
before.
don't have.
They don't have Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have them. Sorry, doesn't apply to you.
You're welcome in our campus.
Yes,
Give your money to something.
That's right. Okay.
You can come to Lake.
So this is for Christmas Eve treat. Is what we're talking about. Because most of the time, hey Charlotte, you can still totally do this. It's just your budget is different. So you can definitely speak up to what you want. Because we're gonna have a couple options. You can speak to that. You just when I'm talking about money wise, it doesn't apply to you because you have your own budget. Okay. So if you are a non-permanent location, then you are allotted $300. If you're a permanent location, then you're allotted $500. And I'm not gonna be all stickler about like 312, 314, 298, whatever. Just somewhere around $300. I don't even care if you go over by like $40. Whatever. Just make it happen. We have a couple of things that we can do, and I'm going to throw them out there. We can talk about other ideas, but these are honestly, as long as you all land at one of these 2, you can choose what you want to do at your campus. I'm not going to enforce that, like, because it's not curriculum, and I feel like this is not a standard that we're setting. We want to do something additional. So if you know that you are Blakeney and you're going to have a gazillion worship experiences, and you don't want to do a hot chocolate barista bar, then do cookies and milk on a tray or whatever. Okay, so here's the 2 things I feel like we can go 2 directions. I feel like that if we want to do something that's a little downplayed, then we're going to get silver trays, and we're going to put little mini cups of milk on one side and chocolate chip cookies on the other. You're going to have people dressed up in cute, like, Christmassy stuff, maybe some things coming out of their heads, Christmassy things.
Have the head.
Up like that.
The devil.
And have them walking around
Yeah, not double
giving,
ones, no.
not devil ones. No,
It looks like
those
that's
are
what you were doing.
reindeer ears.
Yeah, you're like the little.
Or they could be
Or devil
snowflakes.
horns.
Oh.
So these are being offered to all families, not
Yeah.
just like kids.
Well,
Right, so like lines.
right. So you could walk around. You want to promote it to your kids. So, like, you're going to target that people. Like, you're not going to go up to an elderly couple and offer them cookies.
Right.
You're going to target your family. I mean, if they want a cookie, they can.
You're too old.
But,
You're too old to
you're too old to have
children
children.
anymore.
But I mean, at the same time, like, if they
Nowhere
want.
else is gonna have lines, right?
Right.
Well,
Well,
like there are lines for your next worship experience.
yeah, you're going to have lines for your next. They're back to back to back.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So you can either do that. You can either walk around with the cookie and the thing or whatever, and that's super simple. $300 is plenty of money to do that with. Or if you want to, I kind of came up with this idea of doing a hot chocolate barista bar. It really only needs the ordering process is a little more intensive than just going to the store and buying cookies and milk and cups. But so hot chocolate barista bar. When I see it in my head, what I looked up, that's why I did the budget the way I did. I see a stainless steel table, a 4-foot stainless steel table, like a high top kind of table. They have them on Amazon. And the hot drink dispensers, they'll both be hot chocolate. You'll have a volunteer or two, depending on if you're a big campus, small campus, with a cute little like Christmas apron, maybe even have someone that says eKidz Barista on it. And it's just hot chocolate, but then there's things like Cool Whip, cinnamon sticks, chocolate flakes, whatever. And they would just request what they want from the barista. The barista would go down the line and make it in.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's a cute idea. And you can totally do it. It's within your budget to do it if you want. If you don't want to do that, then we'll go with milk and cookies.
So if you do the bar, then don't do cookies.
Right. You're going to do one or the other. You won't have enough money to do both. So it's just going to be what you want to do. No matter what you do, whether you go all out and do the barista bar, and if you do the barista bar, I will say this, you should be able to put it in an eKidz area where you're not having to worry so much about other people coming in. I mean, I know there's some campuses like Uptown, it doesn't really matter to you because everybody comes in everywhere. But because you have randos, coming up down the steps. That was the best word ever. But anyways, what do you all think about that? What do you lean towards?
Barista bar.
Yeah. Barista bar.
I think cookies and milk would be super easy, but the hot chocolate bar, I think that just giving choices for them to make it their
fun,
way
right?
would be super fun.
And it steps it up. Like it's a whole new level.
Well, the idea behind that, though, just logistically, be for people as they come out of the worship experience, they can't go into the worship experience with a hot drink.
No,
it's gonna be out at the end. Yeah, so you would cover it up. You're gonna have a bunch of them that are gonna go back to back, and you would just your barista person would just say,
Hey, if you're headed in, just come get it as you head out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can get as detailed as when I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, you can order or have, if you know somebody that has an embroidery, you literally go get a red apron and have somebody embroider eKidz Barista on it. That's so fun. That kind of thing.
Can you think of a way that I can do a barista bar, or do I have to do something like?
I think you could do it upstairs. Your baby room's gonna be left out, but
Sorry, babies, no chocolate.
But I mean, I think I would probably put it on my second floor if I were you. That way, it hits most everybody. You can't do it downstairs. Everybody would hit it. That's probably what I would think. So everybody leans towards the barista bar.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm gonna you can do whatever you want to do. Yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the Host Service Express, like in the back.
Yeah.
Online.
Well, when Aaron and I talked about it, we
Like
actually
hot
said I
chocolate.
think for Blakeney you'd have to get a tent. You'd have to get your own little white tent in the back for the barista thing or whatever.
And there's Aaron.
Yay! All right, so this is what I'm gonna do then. I will send you what I recommend for you to purchase. You just need to look at so what you need to do is you need to look at your expected Christmas attendance. That does not mean your attendance like this past weekend or whatever, because your attendance for Christmas will be very different, and it does not always mean that it's going to be higher. Rock Hill their attendance was actually lower last year on Christmas than it was on a regular weekend because just the way that it was it just was weird. So you need to look at last year's attendance, look at your number, and then you need to what I did when I was essentially trying to figure out how much Blakeney would cost. I looked at the servings of Nesquik chocolate, which is what I'm going to send you. I looked at the servings that was on the thing, and then I did the number of kids, and then plus 2 more for mom and dad. So you're going to take your number of kids times 3, and that's how many servings. Or really, it's more like 2.5 is really what you need to do. So your number of kids times 2.5. And then you need to buy that much hot chocolate. If you go over, unless it is more than, let's say, $60, just give an arbitrary number, but if you're going to go over $300, buy more than $60, let me know. Otherwise, do not tell me that you went over by $27 or whatever. It's not a big deal. And then I will send you everything that you need to order, and then you're just going to do it on your own, but you can order it however you want to order it. Awesome. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, remote people, you got any questions? Yes, if you're good. Down if you. Everybody good? Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to move on to We Will Connect the Family December. So we had a long, in-depth conversation about what we wanted to do with cookie cutters and everything. So I can just tell you that I am so freaking excited about this. Like, so excited because I actually wrote the project request, was about to send it in, heard my cat upstairs doing something crazy, stopped what I was doing, ran upstairs to see what was going on, and got distracted. He wasn't doing anything, but I got distracted, and then came back down and realized I hadn't sent the project request, which was awesome because while I was upstairs doing other stuff, I thought, oh man, I should have done this and this and this and this instead of this. So I went back downstairs, deleted everything that I wrote, rewrote the project request, and then submitted it. And this is where I landed because I'm really excited about it. So Kelly Draddy is working on getting us elevation symbol cookie cutters.
Yay! Yay!
Yes.
That's wonderful.
I know. I'm really excited about it. So what we're going to do is they are going to be attached by, right now it looks like a curling ribbon to a pretty good sized card. So what we're looking for is a 4 to 5 inch cookie cutter, so about this big, elevation symbol, and attached to a card that's slightly bigger than that, so like a 5 to 6 inch card. It's going to be slightly bigger than that. On one side of the card it has all, because we're connecting the family, right? So the initiative that this is you're going to have a couple of volunteers walking around with their smartphones or iPad or whatever, and all you're doing is asking people would they like to subscribe to the eKidz blog. They're going to give you their email address. You're immediately going to plug it in, push subscribe, and then hand them the thing. It's really simple. The only thing that they need to keep up with is the number that they subscribe. And we'll go down because there's a couple of strategies that I want to use as well. Okay, so here's what they're going to receive, because I felt like that this was great to connect the family with our blog, and then I was like, wait a minute, we could take this even another step. This is where it went in my head. So attached to this on one side is our eKidz logo with all our contact, Twitter, Instagram, so they have all of that because that's how we connect with them. We want them to follow us on social media and interact with us. On the other side is it says, use this. There's no cookie. What I had originally was a cookie recipe on there to make with the kid, with their parents, and I don't put that, took that recipe off, and it actually says, use this cookie cutter to bake some sweet treats as a family and deliver them to who you want to invite to Elevation Church this Christmas. So they're going to use the Christmas Elevation cookies to invite friends. And then on the bottom of it, it's like while you're baking, have these conversation starters. And it's things like, what's your favorite Christmas memory? Who do you want to invite this church? This Christmas, let's make a plan. So, because I was like, okay, there's no better way to connect for us to connect with the family than to empower them to invite their friends. Yeah. I mean, if they're inviting their friends, they're more sold out to us. Mm-hmm. So it's essentially it's on there, just directions, what we want them to do. So it's an invite. And so I thought it was great because you had said December 12th is our goal date for handing these out, which is exactly 2 weeks before Christmas. It gives them plenty of time to interact with it. So that's what's going to happen with that. I went through, actually lowered the numbers. I do not want this to be a stress on you. This is not the... this is to empower our volunteers more, to understand the code element, to play out the code element, to actually, make sure that it's happening. I didn't want this to be a stress on you by any means, and so I went through and looked at your numbers and realistically thought, how many volunteers can you get, and how many can each one of those individually volunteers sign up for a worship experience? And so it's very, very thought out. Like let's just pick, Concord, for example. So you have 2 worship experiences. I'm thinking 30. I'm thinking if you had 3 people trying to recruit this, they really couldn't do more than 10 per each one. So that, and even that's quite a stretch. So then when I was just talking to Frank about this, some idea that I came up with, he said, well, why don't we utilize, it's like, so 60 for Concord. This is how I presented to him. So 60 for Concord, that can be done. It's still kind of a stretch. Like, can one person adequately talk to, communicate, connect with a family, 10 families during the transition of, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, so what's another way? And he said that he felt like that most of our clubhouse families are not signed up for ours. Like they're not participating at a full. So he was like, so it's a win for us even if they only get 20 people coming in and out of the foyer, and they get 40 in Clubhouse, like 40, whatever, and that's a win for us. So when you're looking at these numbers here, this is the number of cookie cutters that you're going to, but you have to think of it this way. This is the number of connections that you're going to make, because we're trying to connect the family. So Concord, you're going to, during the month of December, try to connect with 60 families and get them subscribed for the blog. Now that can be Clubhouse families, it can be families in the foyer, whatever your strategy. Maybe you have a volunteer meeting, and you're having a coordinator meeting, and there's 20 coordinators there, and you're like, hey, however you want to do, this is how we're going to connect the family. Okay. Great. All right. Also, we ordered an extra 135 because Frank thought this was so awesome. He wants to put one of these on all of the staff members' desks. Oh. So every staff member will have one on their desk. So that's pretty exciting. All right. Any questions about the Connect the Family cookie cutters? Nope. You got anything?
Well, the only thing I would add, and I don't know if this is possible or if this would be the best place, but would there be any way, you know, on the business cards that we did for the finders, they had the eKidz director, or like, could we add like our campus logo or Instagram or our eKidz director's information? Just so as because sometimes we have different events that are happening at our campus, just to help them stay in the loop of what's going on at the campus.
Well, I don't think that this is I see what you're saying. I don't think that this is because we're trying to get them signed up for the blog, essentially. Okay.
Yep.
So I don't think this is the right time for that. I know what you're saying, and I think that 80% of the time that would be the strategy that we need to do. But I think this time we just want to connect with them on a global basis. Cool. We want them to be more plugged in. I mean, I want to interact with them more on social media. I mean, I feel like I'm like starving. Somebody references at Elevation eKidz, and I'm like the first one. Like I'm all over. I'm like, ooh, hey, how are you doing? Thanks for commenting. Blah, blah, blah. Like I want them to interact with us. I want them to be thinking about it all the time. So.
Is it only 2 weeks that we'll have the cookie cutters?
You can do it as long as you want to do it.
When do we get them?
So I put in the project request Monday. I think I requested the project team to do them the Thursday before the 12th. The team or whatever, to put them together. But I think that means I got them the week before. So you're gonna have them the weekend of December 12th or whatever. Like they'll be staged with your stuff. That's the goal, is to have them staged with your stuff. And then you can do the 2 weeks in a row if you want to do it the 12th and the 19th. You could do that. That's fine. But these are your connections. Looking at this, don't just say like yes, if it's not. Looking at this, do you think these are reasonable numbers, connections that you can make on your campus? Mm-hmm. I really tried to not put too much stress on you, but also I did really want us to utilize this. All right. Questions, remote campuses. Everybody good?
Can we kind of think of a good name for them?
Remote campuses and errands.
Ooh.
What?
You sound like a dog on our end. On our end.
Did you trying to say something?
I don't know. All right. All right. So let's move on. Sorry.
What's Colleen doing? She's like.
Colleen does not look up. Are you drunk, Colleen?
It's such a blast, guys. It's such a blast.
You have to stop drinking before Group BP.
I know, man. It gets me.
Okay. Hey, Colleen, do you think these numbers are reasonable for you?
The 40?
Do you think these numbers are reasonable for you, the ones that were on the Group BP agenda?
Yeah. Where it says 40?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40. Okay. Awesome. All right.
It's all going to go out in the notes. I typed up the same numbers.
Great. So you'll send notes. You'll get notes from Bethany.
I was just sending emails.
Awesome. All right. So let's move on to Central Campus Unity.
Yes.
Yay.
Let's move on to that.
So excited.
Yes, I'm excited too. Okay, so I met with Cassie and Jesse earlier this week. A couple things happened during that meeting. One of them, I'm taking over the doing time. That's now me. Yay. So here's the thing. I feel like that I have enough relational equity with all of you all that if I'm asking you to do something and you feel like that it's outrageous or whatever, that you can come to me, and if I say no, go do it, you're gonna go do it without being mad at me. I hope that that's where we are. At the same time, I want us to honor the system. I want us to get our returns back. Remember, this is about stewarding the resources that we've been given. So I'm going to take that over. You're going to send me the email. Right. Courtney's going to send me the email.
I'm still sending her what's missing, and then you're
I'm determining times and stuff.
Do they really need to serve time for this?
Right.
Do they serve 1 hour? Do they serve 2 hours?
So Central essentially is giving me what's gone, and then I'm going to be the one to determine how much time that you have. So if there is an issue, like you get upset or frustrated, then just come out to me. We'll work through it. That's fine. I know that doesn't apply to your remote campuses unless you want to come down and do time. I'm sure that Barb and Lou would.
That would be great.
We'd love for you to come in and do their time.
We have a blast.
You guys can come do my prep, and I'll go do your time. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to take over that. I'll be emailing you the stuff. I did not realize that we kind of run almost like a week behind. So like I get the report, and then I send you, and then you have until the next Tuesday. That's how it works. You will probably know that already. Okay. Also, one of the things that I found out in this meeting, so enlightening, is that if you email them in advance, if you've looked for something and you can't find it, but you genuinely looked for it, so either a kid took it home or a volunteer packed it up in their purse or whatever, and you can't find it, and you email them on the front end, then that doesn't actually get counted towards your time. Does anybody know this? I know this. This is Saturday. So here's what we're going to do. I want everyone to put a reminder, so put in your to-do notes right now. I want everyone to put a reminder in your phone sometime between the end of your last worship experience and noon on Monday. It's probably, I would do it if I were you, whenever you're doing your hits and misses. It seems like going that same thing. Just send an email with what you're missing, or like Hannah made a comment that she put some stuff in a treasure chest, but nobody knew it was in a treasure chest.
Or even on top. Like we put on top, they'd move the things on top and then just grab the bin.
Yeah. So if you're going to bring stuff back but it's not in the bin, go ahead and send that, so they'll be looking for that. Okay? So we're going to email in advance. Huh?
Who will be emailing?
You're going to email Cassie.
But don't use this in like Monday morning. Oh, I forgot everything this weekend.
Yeah.
don't use that as like cop out of I don't have to do time. I'm missing everything.
Yeah, and so Lou and I brainstormed some ideas this morning to get Gaston a little bit more on track, and what we kind of determined, this is super simple, but we want, we're going to put some highlighters in their bins, and as they're going through, they're going to highlight as they have looked at an item. So we know that they at least looked for it, went through their stuff, whatever. So that's a simple solution. Put some highlighters in your bin. Don't take the highlighters out. Tell them not to take the highlighters out. Just they leave.
Well, the thing is, there's multiple bins going through.
Yeah. Because her bin she gets this weekend, she's not going to see again until 3 weeks.
What if we put highlighters in all of them? I'm just telling you, if it's in there, they will
also, they will steal highlighters because they love highlighters.
We would email before end of day Monday.
Noon Monday.
Before.
Yeah, whenever your hits and misses are due, which is noon Monday, that's the same time, same thing for this. Okay. You can figure out the highlighter dilemma. You're all adults. You can figure out how to manage your highlighters. But I really do feel like that's the key. Like because I'm just sitting there thinking, like if they look at it and they're like, okay, well they brought back 3 of 6, but it's highlighted on here, so they really did look for it, and they only found 3 of 6 Sharpies or whatever. So that's different than just returning 3 of 6, not knowing if you looked for them or you just grabbed the 3 that were available or whatever. Like if you highlight it, that means you actually looked for it. So you just gotta come up with little tricks like that. But I feel like that if we just be a little bit more intentional, email on the front end. Emailing on the front end is the key. That's the key to everything. Email
that
on the
worked
front
really
end.
well for like Quest large group set returns. Like I know Sarah emailed a bunch of stuff like, hey, I lost this. I emailed saying, hey, we broke the feather duster. It's not being returned. And then Cassie went through the return sheet before she gave it to the prep team and marked all that stuff. So like they knew, okay, like I'm not looking. They're not going to spend it.
Is it still best for them to send it to you, or should they just send it all to Cassie?
It's Quest, Cassie.
Quest, Cassie.
Motion, Courtney.
Okay. Okay. Any questions about that in the doing time? Okay. We're going to hope this gets better. All right. This is where it gets exciting. I'm really excited about this. And I know you're going to flip out a little bit. I want you to know this is so kind of like crazy that I had to go get it approved with Frank. He said, sure, let's try it before we come back to it. So Fridays at 7 p.m. After Fridays at 7 p.m., you are not going to text any central staff beyond at all. Period. Unless it's tech issue. Tech is different. If your computer's down, blah, 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 whatever. You are not going to text Cassie, Courtney, Jesse anymore after Fridays at 7 p.m. Corpus. Well,
Or
Corpus
does that count
is
as tech?
near tech. That's a little different.
Corpus is crap.
Okay, so let me tell you why. Most of the time, when texts are coming through Saturday 2 o'clock, Saturday 4 o'clock, Saturday 5 o'clock, Sunday 8 a.m., there's nothing they can do about it anyway. It's too late. They can't help it. So what we're going to do is empower you to come up with your own solutions. And we're not going to get mad at you if you don't have something and you come up with a solution that works. We're not going to get mad at you about that. But you still need to put it on your misses. So say you get to your campus and for whatever reason, even though you came and looked at the thing, because we're going to talk about that in a minute too, but Tim, you went and looked through your supplies, but for some reason you missed that you were missing spray bottles out of your bin. You get to your campus and you don't have 15 spray bottles. Well, it's Sunday at 7:30 a.m. You're not going to text anybody. You're going to send someone to Walmart and to get the spray bottles, or you're going to change the activity and cut the spray bottles out. Whatever. We're going to empower you to come up with your own solutions after Fridays at 7 p.m. This does not mean that you cannot look at your bins. You have to look at your bins. You have to know in advance. The reason we put it at Fridays at 7 p.m. is because two things. You're only going to text. So Courtney's out of the equation entirely now. The only two people that you are going to text are Cassie and Jesse. You're going to text Cassie for all things supplies. All things supplies. You're going to text Jesse for all lesson plan questions. That's it. Those are your only two. No interns, no anything. Those are your two go-tos. They're going to be expecting your text up to Friday at 7 p.m. After that point, you're going to come up with your own solutions. Now, you still need to put it on your misses. Those 15 spray bottles, it still needs to go on your misses, but then the solution that you used is going to go over here. And if we need to have further conversation on the back end, we can. But I feel like what's been happening, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is that you'll find something a little later. It frustrates Central because Central's like, why didn't they catch this in the front end? So Central may or may not respond back with the adequate tone because they're frustrated because you didn't do something that you're supposed to do, or the volunteer team didn't do something they're supposed to do. Whatever. There's definitely a frustration there. Central can't really do anything about it. You're afraid to piss off Central because you're going to do something that's not in line with the curriculum, and so you don't want to make them mad. They're already frustrated, and now we've got just like a bomb. And so let's just empower you. All adults, we can all figure out our own solutions. Let's just figure it out, okay? So up until 7 p.m. That essentially means that all your lesson plans have to be read by Friday. So, I mean, you have to work through your Safari, Quest, and Motion lesson plans so that you have any questions. Because Jesse's not going to receive questions after 7 p.m.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does this mean that you won't communicate with us after Friday as well?
Say that again. Saturday night notes? Yes.
No, not Saturday night notes. I mean, like this weekend, for example, we got a large group email at 11 a.m. Saturday. So is this a 2 Friday deadline?
Yes, it is. So let me tell you, because you and I had that conversation before I went into that meeting, and that helped so much. So, yes. Okay, so what she's asking is, you know how like on Saturday there was, oh, hey, by the way, we need memory verse numbers, blah, 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 whatever. You are not, it goes both ways. So by Friday at 7 p.m., Central's not going to communicate any more needs with you, and you're not going to communicate any more needs with Central. So let me tell you this. It does not mean that you can't talk to each other. So like if you need to brainstorm with someone, call PJ and say, PJ, I'm doing this. What do you think about this? You know, whatever. You can rely on each other. We're still a team. It's just right now I feel like one of the things happening is we can't solve the problems on Saturday nights and Sunday mornings. We can't do that. It's not a good solution. So we're adding to the stress when honestly we're all empowered to make our campuses successful and excellent. So to answer your question, Erin, yes. I've already explained to them, and they've agreed that after 7 p.m. on Friday, if there is an expectation, like for example, if they realize on Saturday that there's going to be a memory verse, they were like, well, we still need that data. And I said, okay, well, you can ask for it if you want, but you can't put a limit on.
Can't count against them.
Yeah, you can't count against them. If they say, hey, we need the memory verse thing by Monday, try to get us that. Then of course we're on a team. We're not trying to divide here. We're not trying to build solos or silos. But at the same time, like they can't expect expect you to have something if they're not communicating until after that Friday 7 p.m. deadline. Does that answer your question? Yes? Okay. All right, I know there's going to be a lot of questions about this. Some other things that I want to tell you. It is now mandatory that you go and check your bins sometime between 12 and 3 p.m. on Thursday. They've been asking. I'll just tell you the people that do it are the people who have the least amount of problems. So if you will go and do it, you're going to have this right in front. I asked Erin. Erin runs Blakeney. Blakeney's our largest campus. I asked Erin how long it takes her to go run through her bins. She said 10 minutes max.
Yeah.
So it is literally going to take you less than 10 minutes. You need to find 10 minutes sometime between 12 and 3. So put it on your calendar. Erin said, I just have a calendar appointment. So everybody's going to go in on Thursdays sometime between 12 and 3 and check your bins. Look through them so that you understand. By Fridays at 7 p.m., you're going to have all your lesson plans read, and any questions that you have for Central are already going to have been sent to them, and they're going to have responded. They do know that they have to respond to you within a few hours. So, like, they're going to try their best, unless they're, like, in a movie or something, they're going to try their best up until that Friday, 7 p.m. to respond to you. I would just say, it's better for you. I mean, they're just like you. Fridays are off day. So it's better for you to send them one email or one text with 3 questions than to bombard them with text all day long. So let's just try to honor both. We want to. It needs to be goodwill on both directions, both coming from Central and coming from campus. So we are on the same team at the same time. Like, let's just own our campuses. All right. Questions about any of this? Anything else? I want to talk. Yes, Sarah.
So Jess is right. Like checking your bins, I've done it consistently for the past probably 4 weeks, and it takes me usually 5 minutes. Do it comparable to like a smaller campus other than Blakeney. I had volunteer coming in this afternoon who's a regular office volunteer for me.
Yep.
I was going to train her how to do it in case I'm ever not here
That's
or
totally
whatever.
fine.
Is that okay?
Yep, that's totally fine. You just either you or a high-level leader at your campus needs to check your bins between 12 and 3. And also, you should also know that the reason it's between 12 and 3 is because all of our Central team is here and available to answer any of your questions from 12 to 3. So that's why we're asking you to do this, but they're also making their time available. So if you have any questions about what's in your bin, then you can go to them. They're just going to be like around at their desks or whatever during those 3 hours.
And it builds time for us to like, so if by 3 you say I'm missing the supply, then it gives us time before the end of the day happens to like fix the problem. So like if you're missing kind of coloring page or whatever, like we can actually print that and get it to you by having the window of time.
Yeah. And having a volunteer also gives you one other person on the campus on the weekends who can help answer questions, so not everyone's coming to you.
Yeah. So with this, it's not going to be a perfect system. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's not going to. You're going to go through. You're going to check your stuff at 3 p.m. You're going to read through your lesson plans, and you're going to get to your campus on Sunday morning and realize that you don't have something or that, and it's a big deal, and you don't know what to do. If you get to that point where, like, I just don't know what to do, just text me, and I will text you back. So essentially, like, we want you to own your problems. We want you to come up with solutions. We still want you to list those, anything that you missed, we still want you to list it on there. But at the same time, that's my job. I'm here to support you. So if you are looking for banners and you can't come up with banners or whatever, and it's too late since I can't do anything about that, but you need some solutions, just text me and I'll help you come up with a solution if you can't come up with one on your own. I feel like that, and you correct me if I'm wrong because I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I feel like that Central being available from 12 to 3, Central being available all day Friday to return any questions that you have, and me being available on Saturday and Sundays to help you brainstorm, I feel like that's as much support as we can offer you. At some point, you're just going to do something. You know, like I'm not saying you're not doing anything. If there's a problem, you're just going to do it, fix it. You know.
Yeah. I think you hit it on the head where giving us the authority to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the biggest thing because we know how much work Central puts into things that we don't ever want to feel like we're crossing the line.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Also, finally, I wanted to say this. So there is a teaching that Pastor Stephen did the whole way, assuming that I'm smiling or whatever. And I want us to do that on both directions. I want us to always assume that the other person is talking with a smile on their face. At the same time, I want us to react in a different manner. So even if someone sends you something that seems direct or short or whatever, I want you to respond back in a way that's like, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to answer this question. So I want you to always assume that other people are saying stuff with a smile, but then I want you to react as if they don't know that you're smiling. And so I feel like if we all do that, coming from both sides, like if Central does that in us and we do that as well, then it's going to cut a lot of this tension down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I agree.
Cool. Now we're going to go on to something way more lighthearted. Hey, remotes, you good? Brandon, if you have problems, then you contact Colleen.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Colleen, if you have problems, you're up a creek without a paddle. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. You can call me too. And Charlotte, you can always call me, but I don't think you ever call me from Canada. So you can text me. All right. All right, we're going to do Christmas Clubhouse Brainstorm. Sarah's going to lead this. We're going to talk about it for, look at that. We're right on time. So we're going to talk about it for 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to brainstorm. And then if we need to do more, then Sarah's going to schedule another brainstorming. Anyone who wants to participate in that can. But Sarah, take it away.
Alright, so every year we have Christmas Clubhouse, and every year eKidz directors spend lots of time and energy, or you have your Clubhouse coordinators spend lots of time and energy coming up with amazing things for your Christmas Clubhouse kids to do. And it's super fun, it's the best. But at the same time, we all have amazing ideas, so instead of having 15 separate awesome Christmas Clubhouses, let's work together, put our brains together, and make 3 or 4 together so that we're ordering supplies in bulk, saving, honestly, like a lot of time and energy. So that way if we have something that needs to be assembled or put together, like we put in a third day project team request, and it's not each of us trying to do it on our own. So like I know for me in the past, Cassie and I have always done it together, like Jesse and I have done it together before too. And it ends up like, hey, you know, we just collaborated, we came up with 2 great Christmas Clubhouse ideas, and we're going to split the work, and it works out really well. So I know for me, I only have 1 Clubhouse at Uptown, so that's really all I have to think about, but I know a lot more of you have more than that. Have any of you started thinking about Christmas Clubhouse yet?
Martina.
I have. I'm almost done with my planning. We're doing 4 extended and then 3, and then I'll have 1 that it just won't be offered. So 4 total Clubhouse experiences is what Blakeney will have.
Erin, tell us what you're doing, because yours is awesome. Tell us what you're doing.
I'm going to do a Polar Express, which it's an oldie but a goodie. We've never done it at Blakeney that I know of. So we're doing a quest-themed Polar Express, and it's going to have puzzles, games, an actual Polar Express train set they can physically play with, and then a nice train set that they don't play with that's just there for decoration. And then the motion-themed Polar Express, I found the little Melissa and Doug wooden trains, and they're going to paint those. I'm also looking into, which was a great idea Jess had, an actual one of those trackless trains. It's like a lawnmower that pulls a train, basically. I found several in the Charlotte area, and I would really love to come do that. And even, how fun would that be if they transitioned that way? So if they got to go from the train to go from Kitty Academy to Blakeney to attend. And so I'm looking into that, and if the budget can swing it, we're going to do that. The other thing that I'm doing that I'm really excited about is one of the experiences is going to be all kids together, and I'm going to do like little elf hats. Stop, my kids are here. I'm going to do little elf hats, Santa's workshop kind of thing, but we're going to do an outreach project. So we're going to pack care kits with hand warmers, chapstick, Tic Tacs, like just multiple things that we're going to donate, you know, along the lines of, because it'll be too late to do a Christmas-themed care pack, but it'll be like a start the new year right kind of care pack, and they'll write Happy New Year notes, put them in bags with some generic hygiene, so basically kind of a hygiene pack. So that's going to be an outreach-themed clubhouse experience, but we'll theme it like a Santa's workshop. They'll all get little elf hats, and we'll have little Christmas music.
That's right. I like that.
It'll be themed like a workshop, but instead of Santa's elves doing toys, we're doing care kits for crisis assistance or whichever of our local partners can use them the most. So
I love it. That's what I was going to ask. Are you connecting with your campus outreach coordinator to do that, about where those would go, like how you're getting them there, that kind of stuff? Or are you just making them and then figuring it out?
Well, no, because I way back, I was in outreach for years, and I sit on the board of directors for a child's place. And so just me personally, I'm still heavily involved in outreach and in the homeless community. So I'll just manage that myself. If I was not in that way, then yes, I would probably connect with my campus outreach coordinator and find out. Because I'm connected myself, I'll just handle it myself.
If other campuses wanted to do what you're doing, could they do that activity, but then give them to you and you take them you see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying. If all the legwork on getting them to me was handled by the other director, I would be willing to do that, yes.
Okay.
And so I'm not tracking down anybody else's stuff. We've got enough going on at Blakeney. But if someone wants to say, hey, Erin, at this date and time, and again, because I don't want to be rushing around on Christmas Eve because I've got all these care packs that say Merry Christmas, I'm theming mine New Year's. So they'll still bless somebody for the winter, the cold season, like I said, like hand warmers and chapstick and things like that, along with general hygiene things, toothbrush, toothpaste, things that we always use. And I'm going to theme them more toward just New Year's. Yes, I would be willing for other directors to connect with me. Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
And so what you heard Erin say, like she's doing the Polar Express, and that's awesome, but you also heard talking about like getting the train that they can ride. That's not necessarily going to work at Concord or Uptown. We don't take kids outside of Uptown. It's not safe.
You in the parking garage? What?
I mean, only sometimes, if they can find their own way there. But that doesn't mean that you can't do a Polar Express theme and use most of the stuff that Erin just talked about. So a lot of this will be like, hey, like here's this idea that we have, and here's how Blakeney's going to use it. How can I take that and modify it for my campus in a way that it's going to work? I know for me, like I have done Polar Express, and I have done Arthur Christmas, and I have done like pretty much every Christmas thing that you can possibly do. So this year, I wanted to do an outreach project during my extended clubhouse. And I'll only have one other clubhouse than that. So I'm doing, like, Santa's going to come, and he's going to bring stuff, and he's going to come towards the beginning of the day. And there's going to be some clues throughout it, all with different colors, blue, pink, yellow, green, red, I think. And Santa's going to bring them some different stuff and some gifts for a game and stuff like that. And it's all themed with these colors. And the last thing he's going to give them is the movie Inside Out. And so they're going to get to watch that because we don't have that yet. So it's going to be like Santa's like Christmas present to them. Or it might be an elf, depending on what costume. But it's going to be themed out with, like, they're going to decorate cookies and they're going to get to use, like, they're going to play a game with that and they're going to get to use different colors of icing for all of that. And so it's going to be less, like, Polar Express, but like I said, like, I feel like I've done all of that already. So if you've done all of that already, like, there's still other options.
One quick thing, just to let you know something I stumbled upon. So last year we did a Buddy's breakfast brunch, and it was themed around Elf. It had the cutout of Elf and all that. However, because there's some scenes, you know, he goes in the shower or she goes in the bathroom when he's showering and that kind of stuff. I didn't want Annie gets her the lingerie. I feel like the Elf movie kind of pushes the lines. There is now an animated musical Elf that's rated G.
Oh,
wow.
You can Google it. Apparently it came out last year as a TV special, which I didn't see. But it's available now, and it's cheap. It's on Amazon or whatever, and it's called Buddy's Musical Adventure or whatever. And I've only watched the previews of it, but it's a lot of the same scenes. Like he gets hit by a taxi and says, watch out, they don't stop, or whatever. Like some of the classic funny little elf scenes. And it's a musical, but it's rated G. And so this year, that's going to be, I always just keep extra holiday movies for when that craft you thought was going to take 45 minutes really only took 15, and you need extra filler. So just a heads up, guys, that available on Amazon, there is a rated G version of Elf if you want to theme some things around Elf.
It's all bring it right now. Anybody else have any ideas they want to share? Anything they're doing? It's okay if you don't.
So that's where I would kind of like to know, like, what's going to be the most beneficial for you guys. Like, if you're like, hey, I'm good, I got my ideas, don't really need to be part of this necessarily, that's okay. But, like, do we need to schedule a separate brainstorming meeting? Or is it most helpful if those of us that have already brainstormed something type up what we've done and just send it to you guys and you decide what you want to do? That's where I'm kind of like, I know it's helpful for me, but I want to know what's the most helpful for everyone else, and that's what we'll do to make sure we're utilizing our resources, our staff. That's me.
I have a question about this year we're doing 5 o'clock on Saturday, which means I'm going to have Clubhouse from 2:30 till 7 o'clock. basically that night, and that will be because I won't send them to a worship experience because they're going to see it next morning. So how much do you schedule? How do you schedule just an hour's worth? Do you schedule?
You're having.
So 5 o'clock is when the worship experience starts. So that means
The weekend before.
On the 24th.
on the 19th.
The 19th.
Oh, you have an extra worship experience.
Yeah.
Is anybody else doing that? So, like,
You may want to make sure, don't assume that nobody that comes Saturday night is coming back Sunday. Because, we have a Saturday night every weekend, and we ask them every Saturday night, are you coming back? Some parents aren't planning to come back. So all that to say, you're still probably going to want to plan what it'll look like for you to transition kids to the experience. Don't assume that every kid that's coming Saturday will return Sunday, because we have definitely found out that's not always the case. So you'll want to be asking, are you returning tomorrow? Are you returning tomorrow? We do it with every kid that checks in. Ask the parent if they're returning. Or, some you learn their habits, but since it'll be out of routine for you, probably 30% of your kids, if not more, could very possibly shift out.
If that's the case, that would be because Jeff is just banking on everybody will be there the next day too, because that's our volunteer base.
Well, that's what probably in the ideal world that's what happened, but kids don't want to come back, so they stay with the grandparents the next day, or only one parent is going to come back the next day, or the parent comes and brings them, but you don't. I would not make that assumption. We have found that at least a third of our kids go over on Saturday night because they do not return Sunday. And I know the Blakeney volunteer base is different than the Concord volunteer base, but it's still, I just wouldn't assume that, because you're going to end up with extra kids for 5 hours that you didn't really need to have. And they miss out on the great Christmas weekend experience.
Right. So are you saying we should send everybody Saturday night?
No, I'm saying you should ask.
Just ask.
I'm saying that everybody that's checked in Saturday night, you ask the question, are you returning Sunday morning? What we do is put a sticker on their tag. If they are not returning Sunday morning, we sticker their tag, and then at the 20 minutes before the experience, we line them all up and take them over.
is anybody else adding an experience that's not normal?
On the weekend before?
No. Okay. This might be a silly question, but I don't know. Is it assumed that you have Clubhouse for all the worship experiences that are happening?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm planning on 3 different Clubhouse experiences.
Like, we don't have one during
Really? You
7.
wouldn't send all kids to one of them?
You can send eKidz twice.
Or like how
many experiences do you have?
3. I have 1, 3, and 5.
Like, we have
That's ours.
5.
Same as you.
I don't know which one. But like,
You're gonna
during
have
one of our experiences, we're not offering Clubhouse.
Same
You
as
have a
Norman.
ton of
3 of us
experiences.
have 3.
How many experiences do you have?
We have 4.
Maybe 5. We're maybe adding a 7.
I think you gotta have all 3.
I think we're definitely having all 3.
Like extended.
Because
numbers
somebody,
of, like,
we'll just, everyone's rhythm is completely different. And so, like, somebody may come and they go out to eat and they come back, or, I just feel like, you want to make sure all the kids, I don't know. If I were you, I would plan all 3. If you added a 4th, if you went to a 4th, then I think you'd probably get away with not doing the last one.
And as far as activities wise, would the 1 then and the 5
They gotta be different.
be longer than the 3? Because kids are there
For the
earlier for
setup.
1 and then later.
You
for
would
the
just have to
5.
plan something extended, so your extended
Like a
class,
film or like. Okay.
something for extended.
I'm just trying to like
I would
figure out.
say if they know that their 1 o'clock is going to be really low, when I've had 3 experiences before, I send all of my kids to their classes during that experience.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm going to have
That's what
12 other
last year was
kids,
like.
and then I have a 3 and a 5 in the house.
Yeah, that's what
And
we
you can
do.
decide too, like we have one experience where all classic kids are attending their class. The next one, all motion kids are attending.
Right,
only
we normally-
classes in Clubhouse. Yeah. Like last year we had a 7 p.m. and she did not have Clubhouse during 7.
So it's just based on numbers. Adding interest or.
Like Easter, when we have like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we normally have like 2 experiences where they go to eKidz.
I
You go
know
to 2
it sounds
worship
like more work
experiences?
on the front end. I'm just
No,
telling
I
you.
don't mind.
It
I
will
just
be,
don't know what.
well, it will
what
be, it'll end up being
normally does.
easier for you if you don't have, it's easier for you, and the ratio is higher in Clubhouse than it is for group leaders. So it's going to be easier for you to only send those kids one time instead of 2 times to your groups, because that means you're going to have more groups. That's why I'm saying
Right.
if you do all 3. So that's not a stupid question. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm. To answer your question earlier, Sarah, I think let us get with our teams, because I've had given that responsibility, because coordinators and the team leaders have loved to come up with some of those ideas, and they haven't gotten that back to me. So if we want to send them out or even reschedule the meet again next time, if we're going to figure out who's going to buy these supplies, if we're going to buy in bulk, I think that would be great.
All right, so you want to talk about it 2 weeks from now? We can do that.
Would that give us enough time if we came in ready to share ideas and Sarah's like, oh, I like that. Okay, let's order. Be ready to order.
That's still in. Oh wait, yeah, that's 2 days.
Okay. We can we?
I mean, say. Still, yes.
Do you want to move that one to the first Thursday in December then?
December 3rd, yeah.
And then that way we can.
You'll need to change that.
I'll change the date. Make sure we reserve this. So then that way we can, right after that, set up who wants to order what.
That's good, because that puts us at meeting again the week before Christmas, exactly 1 week before Christmas. Cool. So let's do it the 3rd and the 17th. So just have to change those dates. So we'll talk more about how I'm going to leave you on the schedule for next time around.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're done. Look at that, 69 minutes. I said 67.
Wow. So good.
Amazing.
All right, guys. And your job is to think of a new name instead of the remote directors.
Remote and Aaron.
No, I don't like that. So Brandon, Charlotte, Colleen, looks like she's left us already. Y'all brainstorm. What would you like to be called? Love you guys.
Hey guys, y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, Charlotte.
I just have the words bar supplies on my ear.